Hi there, thanks for stopping by my glass painting video. My name is Amy and I'm going to give you just a quick example of something you can do on your own glass. Maybe if you have friends over and decide you want to do like a little painting party, this would be something fun to do. This is just a sample of a glass that I painted. Yours can look the same, it can be similar. I did a scallop, kind of an edge towards the top, painted the stem, and even actually went down with the leaf stems to the bottom. Did little dots to go around the base of the painting where it hit the bottom of the glass, just to kind of give it a finished look. You can even do that towards the top of the glass if you choose to do so. This is just a sample of just a whimsical kind of a poppy flower that you can paint on your glass. I did the base painting of the soft apple first and allowed it to dry, and then went back over and added the flowers and the vines. This is a simple technique, anybody really can do it. I typically paint with one stroke type of technique, but decided for this video just to do something that maybe anybody can do if you're deciding to do your own glasses or have friends over to paint. I like to use folk art enamels. Today I will be using their licorice, their lipstick red, fire engine red, soft apple, wicker white, and baby pink. With your flowers you can use whatever colors work for you. You don't have to stick with the traditional reds, just be creative, do your own thing. I also today will be using a round brush and just an old round gloss brush that I have, and a jelly bean brush that I like to use for base coating. Jelly bean brushes are awesome when it comes to techniques where you have to do base coating. I love these brushes, and I mean, you can use them if you're, I think basically if you're not using a technique like folk art, or I'm sorry, like one stroke, they're great to use for items that you're trying to do either one color at a time or base painting, that type of thing. So one thing to keep in mind when you're painting on glass is to make sure that you clean your glass before you start painting. You can wash it. I like to use Dawn detergent, but you can wash it, dry it. Just make sure that the oil, fingerprints, that type of thing are off of your glass. A lot of people like to go over it with rubbing alcohol to clean it off. Make sure that it's clean before you start painting on it. Right now, just showing you basically how I base paint the glass. I'm just, for today's instruction, I'm just going to show you the technique. You know, it's just basically simple brushing it on. But look how nicely that coats, gives it an opaque look. You can actually let this dry maybe for an hour or so and go back over it if you want it to be more opaque. Definitely let it dry before you decide to start painting on top of it with the actual colors for your flowers. Today I'm going to be using black for the stems and the leaves, not your traditional green. And what I'm using for the flower, I'm going to start off with fire engine red, and I'm just going to use a technique where you're just dabbing the paint on. No brush strokes per se, as far as like you would do with your one stroke painting. I don't know if you're familiar with one stroke or not, but that's a technique that I've learned and actually taken classes on, and did a lot of my glass painting with that. But now I'm becoming more interested in trying to be a little bit more just kind of whimsical with my painting, as opposed to being more you know, defined as far as doing certain strokes and that type of thing. I just like the more whimsical, you know, putting on the paint and adding color to it to make it what you want it to be. And I'm just trying to just show you just some samples of just some different little flowers that you can make. Again, is just one type of way that you can do poppies. The main thing to keep in mind when you're painting is if you like it, it's great. So don't be too hard on yourself. I know as artists we can be that way, where we are too judgmental of our own work and don't like it. I'm just basically doing one color at a time and going in and just trying to add different colors, give it some interest. And I'm doing the red, the lipstick red, and then I'm going to throw in some baby pink, a little bit here, a little bit there, just to try to, again, give it some interest. If we use just one color, a lot of times that just doesn't add any interest to your flower or to your work. It just makes it look kind of flat and blah. A little white now. I just had added some baby pink, so now I'm going to add some white. And remember too, if you're painting on glass and you don't like what you painted, all you have to do is wash it off and start again. Easy peasy. It's one reason I like it so much, plus it's easy to float your brush on it. And once you get done adding, if you're adding the lighter colors and you want to go back in and just kind of make them look a little bit different, maybe you want to add back in some more red. It's just, again, it's just a matter of you liking how it looks. You like the outcome of it. You like the shapes. You like the look you've achieved by doing this. And you can blend it more. If you want to blend the colors in more, you can do so. For the center, I'm just going to touch in some basic licorice black. Now I like it just to look kind of random, not precise. And keep in mind too, when you're doing your glass, when I did mine, did some larger flowers up, some little ones a little bit, down toward, underneath them a little bit. And then today I'm just going to use the extra round brush that I did the flowers with to do the actual stems. You can use a smaller brush if you want to do more of a liner brush. You can. For the sake of just painting on the glass, I'm just going to make it look like this, but I actually did not connect my stems on the glassware. But just to show you, stems are just pretty easy. You can go back in if it didn't cover up the way you wanted it to. And then for the actual flowers, or the leaves, I'm just going to do just not your typical leaf, just something more random. And of course, if you want to fill them in and do more of your typical solid leaf, go for it. And just keep in mind that, with the placement of the leaves, I kind of just like to do them in certain spots. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have like 5 leaves on one and, 2 on another. You can do, just add to it. Got a little bit of red in it. And that's okay too. Show some interest with it. If you want to color in your leaves, you can do that too. If you prefer them to be more of a solid look. And if you don't want to add any leaves up to the floral part, you can just leave it blank. I always like to add, if I'm doing leaves, at least like 2 together. I like odd numbers as far as totally on a plant or anything I'm painting, really. And then if you wanted to add the dots around the bottom like I did, I just take the bottom of the brush and just do my little dots. Or even on the pattern, if you want to add some more texture to it, dots are a great way to add more interest if you want to do that. And there you go. It's pretty easy. think just about anybody can do it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you, and hopefully you were able to see the video. Again, bear in mind I'm just kind of getting started doing this, so if it's not perfect, I apologize. But I also wanted to tell you too, I am left-handed, so what I'm showing you is based on how I would do it. You might have to do it the opposite direction, or what's comfortable with you if you're right-handed. So again, have fun with it. That's the main thing when you're painting on glass, especially if you're not selling it. I have actually sold thousands of pieces of hand-painted glassware, so if you're painting it for someone, then of course you have to be a little bit more careful. But if it's just for yourself, hey, however you want it to be, do it. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by.